Well, thank you very much for joining us. David Perry is back with us once again. He's been here about 200 times, and we always welcome Dave. 20, was that what it is? No, a few times. Anyway, nice to see you again,
You
David.
too, Jack. Thanks for having us.
Okay, now this Rainbow Honor Walk
That's
you
exactly
were telling
right.
about a few minutes ago.
Yeah, the Rainbow Honor Walk is going to be a permanent part of the cultural fabric of San Francisco. It is, although they don't like us to call it this, like a walk of fame on the streets, the sidewalks of Castro. Famous members of the LGBT community will have their names, their lives immortalized in a plaque on the sidewalk. And we announced the first 20 names last February in 2011, and now this February 2012 we have started an international design competition to find a designer to design what these plaques are going to look like.
And you'll be the person who makes the choice about the design? You have a committee?
We do. We have a board of directors.
Yeah.
I'm the chair and co-founder along with my friend and colleague Isaac Lindenauer, a Castro business person. We as a board of directors have asked for the head cultural educational institutions in San Francisco to form a jury to decide what will be the most artistically viable design. And after they give us 4 recommendations, we as a board will look at those 4 recommendations, select one, and hopefully in a few months we'll have the plaques in the sidewalk.
Okay, now this will be in the sidewalk like the Hollywood with like the stars, that kind of thing?
That is exactly right. And I have to say, I mean, I jokingly referred to it as a walk of fame. This is a history project, and the phrase hall or walk of fame is trademarked, so that's why we call ours the Rainbow Honor Walk.
So we can't say that?
We can't say it, although I've said it 3 times,
Yeah,
yes.
I see. Okay, and some of the people who are being honored, you mentioned some of the people whose names would be actually in the sidewalk.
Yeah, I mean, we're hoping over the next few decades that hundreds of people will be immortalized on the sidewalk. But the first 20 names include those people who are openly gay, lesbian, bisexual, or transgender and were noted in their field. So you have Alan Turing.
Excuse me interrupting. They have passed on.
That's exactly right. These are all people who are deceased. So you have people like Alan Turing, the famous British code breaker who many people feel was responsible for helping defeat the Nazis by breaking the Enigma code. He was openly gay in the 1930s and 40s.
That's
quite
amazing.
Something. Yeah. Federico Garcia Lorca, who fought against the fascists in the Spanish Civil War, openly gay. Christine Jorgensen, one of the first, if not the first, internationally known transgender activist.
And well known in this country, by the way.
That's exactly right. And people like Frida Kahlo, famous artist who was openly bisexual. Randy Schultz, a local San Francisco writer who wrote and the band played on. People who were openly gay, lesbian, bisexual, or transgender, noted in their fields, and those first 20 names will be on plaques in the sidewalks of Castro, hopefully starting later this year.
Okay, and all those people you name have all contributed to society in general.
That's exactly right. You know, people ask me, are these going to be only LGBT heroes and heroines over the years? I don't know.
That's what a lot of people might think.
You know, the next 20 names, if if I make it through another selection process, I don't know what the criteria is going to be.
If you make it through another selection process,
well,
are you under a lot of pressure, David?
Well, think about it. We had over 150 names that we vetted down to the first 20, and you know what boards like this are like, coming up with 20 to represent the community.
Have there been fist fights? Have there been arguments?
No, very polite.
Polite, okay. But disagreements?
There were some contentions. For instance, Harvey Milk is not one of the first 20, and people said, how can you not have Harvey Milk? To which a lot of people on the board said, there's a square named for Harvey, there's a library. What would Harvey want? I think that Harvey would say, you know, for the first 20 names, I got enough stuff named for me, let's have someone else. But I wouldn't be surprised to see Harvey's name there at some point.
Yeah. Well, of course, he's so well known in the Bay Area.
That's exactly right.
And nationally, really.
Well, and the thing that I want to stress is this is an international memorial, and that's why the contest, and the winner gets $1,000 for the winning design. We're hoping that people from all over the world will recognize that Castro isn't just the main street of San Francisco's LGBT community, it's the world's LGBT main street.
David, always nice to see you.
You too, Jack.
Okay, David Perry's been our guest. Thank you very much for joining us.